It all started with a wild Instagram live that nobody saw coming. Tekashi 6ix9ine, the self-proclaimed king of controversy, just detonated a verbal bomb on the entire hip-hop industry, sparking what fans are now calling the real generation war of rap. Out of nowhere, 6ix9ine went off, calling out the OGs for gatekeeping and hating on young energy. But the real shocker? He directly name-dropped Fat Joe, accusing him of being out of touch and secretly holding back new artists from blowing up. Within minutes, clips of the rant went viral across every social platform. TikTok, Instagram, and fans were split straight down the middle. Some called 6ix9ine a truth teller for exposing the old heads. Others said he'd officially lost it. But things got even crazier when Fat Joe responded, not with his usual cool-headed veteran tone, but with pure, raw emotion. He said he felt personally betrayed by someone he once defended publicly. Insiders claim Joe even tried calling 6ix9ine privately before things spiraled. The industry's now watching in disbelief, wondering if this is the final crack in hip-hop's fragile bridge between the old school and the new. Because what 6ix9ine said next changed everything. It was supposed to be a quiet Friday night until 6ix9ine hit that Instagram live button and flipped the entire hip-hop world upside down. The rainbow-haired rapper, fresh off another viral stunt, sat shirtless in a Miami condo, gold chains flashing under neon lights. His energy was manic, his tone dangerous. Fans instantly felt that something wild was about to drop. Yo, I'm tired of these old heads talking like they built this game. He started pacing around like a man possessed. They want to act like they invented rap, like we owe them something. Bro, hip-hop ain't y'all's property anymore. The new generation runs this now. The chat exploded. Thousands of viewers flooded the live emojis, question marks, people typing, "What is he talking about?" and 6ix9ine on demon time again. Then came the line that would ignite a full-blown generational civil war in rap. 6ix9ine looked dead into the camera and said, "Fat Joe, yeah, you've been holding dudes back. You call yourself Og, but you scared to pass the torch. You tell unlabels who to sign, who not to sign. You playing both sides, bro? You fake love these new artists, but low-key want to see us flop?" The chat went nuclear. Screenshots flooded Twitter within minutes. Rap blogs like Say Cheese, Rap Daily, and District Trending all posted clips with captions like 6ix9ine just exposed Fat Joe. Calls him out for blocking young rappers from getting signed. Within an hour, the internet was in flames. Fans were divided. Half the comments said he's spitting facts. OGs do gatekeep. The other half? This man's trippin' Fat Joe been nothing but solid. By midnight, hashtag 6ix9ine's Fat Joe was trending at #1 on X behind the scenes. Fat Joe was fuming. According to insiders close to him, Joe was in a studio session when his phone started blowing up. One of his longtime friends reportedly said, "Yo, Joe, you might want to see this." He opened Instagram, and there it was. 6ix9ine's face on a viral clip calling him out by name. Joe couldn't believe it. "This lil dude. After all the times I defended him," he allegedly muttered under his breath. You see, what most fans didn't know was that Fat Joe and 6ix9ine actually had a history. Back in 2018, Joe sat down with 6ix9ine during the height of his early fame, warning him about the streets and the people around him. He even said in an interview that kid's heading down a dangerous road. "I tried to tell him." So when Joe saw this new outburst years later, he took it personal. The next morning, Fat Joe posted a cryptic story. "Real ones don't talk on the internet. They call you direct. Keep that same energy when we meet." That message sent shockwaves through the culture. Was Joe threatening him? Or was he just tired of being disrespected? Then DJ Academics jumped in. Of course he did. On Twitch, Ak reacted live to the beef, playing the clip on repeat, sipping his drink and saying, "Yo, 6ix9ine wildin' again." But low-key, he not lying about the gatekeeping. A lot of these OGs do pick and choose who gets love. But Fat Joe? That's a big name to call out. Fans started speculating deeper. Some claimed 6ix9ine's rant wasn't random, that it came after a major label meeting gone wrong. Word on the street was that 6ix9ine was trying to get a new deal. But one of the label execs allegedly said, Fat Joe told us he's a liability. Whether true or not, that rumor lit gasoline on the fire. 6ix9ine's camp started whispering that Joe was the reason he'd been blackballed. Meanwhile, Joe's people denied everything, saying he never even discussed 6ix9ine in the industry. The next few days were pure chaos. 6ix9ine doubled down with another post. The same people who say they for the culture only help when it benefits them. Old heads mad cause we making money off TikTok. Not the corner. Stay mad. At this point, even other rappers started reacting. Boosie Badass commented, 6ix9ine talk too much, but some of what he's saying, real though. Lil Durk posted laughing emo JIS. DJ Khaled stayed silent, but fans noticed he unfollowed 6ix9ine that same night. Inside hip-hop circles, everyone felt it. The generational tension that had been bubbling for years had finally boiled over. This wasn't just a 6ix9ine beef anymore. It was young versus old, streamers versus lyricists. Viral versus veteran. People started calling it the hip-hop generation war. And at the center of it all stood two men, 6ix9ine, the loud-mouthed provocateur with nothing to lose, and Fat Joe, the respected legend with everything to protect. But nobody, not fans, not bloggers, not even insiders, knew how deep this was about to get. Because behind the scenes, something much darker was brewing. According to sources close to both camps, a private phone call did happen between Joe and 6ix9ine, and it didn't end peacefully. Joe allegedly told him, "You better watch your mouth, lil man. You don't know the half of what you're talking about." 6ix9ine laughed, "You mad cause I said the truth? You scared the game passing you by?" Click. Joe hung up. From that moment, there was no going back. That single phone call would set off a chain of events that would leave the entire industry shaken. Friendships broken, alliances tested, and secrets exposed that fans were never supposed to hear. And when those secrets hit the internet, even Fat Joe himself would be shocked. By the next weekend, the story had gone from a simple Instagram rant to a full-on industry meltdown. Every rap blog, every podcast, and every fan page was dissecting every second of 6ix9ine's outburst. But what nobody expected was what came next. A mysterious leaked studio clip that flipped the narrative on its head. It started when a random Twitter account posted a 30-second audio snippet titled, "Fat Joe talking about 6ix9ine in private." The clip spread like wildfire before anyone could even verify it. In it, a voice sounding identical to Fat Joe could be heard saying, "Labels can't touch that kid. He's radioactive. He'll mess up anyone's brand that associates with him." Within hours, the internet went crazy. Fans were screaming, "Joe exposed." And 6ix9ine wasn't lying. Others tried to downplay it. That could be AI. Don't fall for fake receipts. Still, the damage was done. Screenshots of the clip flooded YouTube thumbnails, bold red letters, clickbait faces, and all. Titles like "Fat Joe caught blackballing 6ix9ine." New audio proves 6ix9ine told the truth. 6ix9ine wasted zero time jumping on the wave. Within an hour, he posted to Instagram, "Told y'all." They smile in your face, shake your hand, then call the labels behind your back. These legends just mad the youth don't need M anymore. He even uploaded a clip of himself laughing hysterically in his Lamborghini, saying, "They say I'm the problem, but look who lying now." Meanwhile, Fat Joe went ghost. No tweets, no interviews, no lives. For nearly 3 days. Silence. But that silence only made things worse. Fans started speculating that maybe, just maybe, the clip was real. Then came the Breakfast Club moment. Charlemagne Thaw God opened the Monday show with his trademark smirk. Man, y'all see what's going on out here? 6ix9ine might have just cracked open a generational war we ain't never seen before. DJ Envy chuckled. Old heads versus young trolls. Bro. This getting deep. A few hours later, Fat Joe finally broke his silence on Instagram Live. But this time, he looked different. No jewelry, no hype. Just raw emotion. First off, Joe began, voice steady but tight. That audio? Fake straight AI. Don't believe everything y'all hear. Second, I never said a word to no label about that kid. I don't even care what he do. But the disrespect. Nah, you don't come at me like that. The comments section exploded. Some fans flooded it with fire emojis and respect OG Joe. Others dropped cap and he sound guilty. But Joe wasn't done. You've got to remember something, he continued, pointing at the camera. I've been in this game since before these apps existed. I've done seen real loyalty, real pain. These new dudes don't respect nothing. All they know is clicks and chaos. And with that, Joe ended the live, but the damage was already spreading. That faker real audio had reopened old wounds, not just between Joe and 6ix9ine, but across the entire culture. Young rappers started voicing their frustrations. NLE Choppa tweeted, "A lot of OGs act like they want us to win, but really hate the new wave." Fivio Foreign went live saying 6ix9ine crazy, but he ain't all wrong. The industry do play favorites. Even 50 Cent, who had been quiet, posted a cryptic meme. A picture of two dogs fighting with the caption, "Old dog's mad, the puppies bark louder, louder." Fans went nuts. Did that mean 50 was siding with 6ix9ine? Or was it shade at both sides? Nobody knew. Behind closed doors, though, things were getting real tense. Multiple industry insiders claimed that Joe's team had begun reaching out to PR experts to manage the situation. He was heated, but also hurt. One insider told Rap Daily, "Joe's always prided himself on supporting the next generation. To be painted as a gatekeeper hit him deep." Meanwhile, 6ix9ine was doing interviews, lots of them. On a viral No Jumper appearance, he doubled down. "I don't hate Joe, but facts is facts. The OGs don't like when someone loud like me speak truth. They want you to be quiet, bow down, call M legends, and move on. Nah, I'm good. I'm the legend now." Fans gasped. The arrogance, the disrespect, but also the confidence. Even academics couldn't stay neutral anymore. During a late-night Twitch stream, he said, "Listen, 6ix9ine got a point. There is a generation gap in hip-hop, but he using it for chaos. He feeding off the hate like always." Then, out of nowhere, another plot twist hit. A second leaked clip surfaced, this time of 6ix9ine himself in it. He was allegedly caught in a private conversation saying, "Fat Joe, cool, but I gotta keep the internet talking. That's how I stay hot." Fans were stunned. Was this whole thing a setup? A marketing stunt? The new clip spread like wildfire again. 6ix9ine admits to trolling Fat Joe for clout. Screamed headlines. This time, Fat Joe's camp stayed calm. Joe's manager simply tweeted, "The truth always comes out. Real ones don't gotta prove it." And for the first time in weeks, the tide started turning. Fans began questioning 6ix9ine's motives. Is this all just another clout move? One comment read, "He don't care about no generation war. He care about views." But if 6ix9ine was phased, he didn't show it. The next day, he dropped a brand new single called "Old Heads Cry Too Much." The cover art, a cartoon of a crying Fat Joe wearing a gold chain labeled "Respect." The internet exploded. The song opened with the line, "They used to rap about pain. Now they cry about fame. Same dudes mad 'cause we broke the chain." Within hours, the track hit 10 million views on YouTube. Fat Joe's fans were furious. The disrespect had gone too far. One close friend of Joe told Candidly Cassie, he's livid. That song crossed the line. Joe's not just angry anymore, he's hurt. He really thought he had love for that kid once. Rumor had it Joe was planning to hit back, not with words, but with music. And sure enough, whispers started circulating. Fat Joe was in the studio with some heavy hitters. Old school producers. Real lyricists. People who wanted to remind the world what respect sounded like. Insiders said he wasn't just making a diss, he was making a statement. Because at this point, it wasn't just about him versus 6ix9ine. It was about old school legacy vs. Internet fame. Fans could feel it. The war lines were drawn. The streets were buzzing. And everyone knew the next move would define the future of hip-hop itself. What nobody expected, though, was that before Fat Joe could even drop his response, someone from his own circle would betray him. And that betrayal would change everything. The streets were buzzing, blogs were eating, and hip-hop fans were split into digital battle zones. Hashtag Team 6ix9ine and hashtag Team Fat Joe. But while everyone was waiting for Joe's big musical response, something far more sinister was happening behind closed doors. It started with whispers, screenshots, leaks. Late one night, an anonymous Reddit post titled "Fat Joe's Camp Leaking Receipts" hit the front page of hip-hop subforums. The post contained a series of alleged text messages between Fat Joe and one of his longtime producers. And they weren't pretty in one screenshot. Joe allegedly wrote, "That clown don't respect real ones. Maybe we gotta remind him who paved the way." Another message read, "Let's get that track done fast." I want it to sound like a funeral. Fans went crazy. The comment section exploded with theories. Was Joe plotting a diss track? Was he actually threatening 6ix9ine? Nobody knew what was real anymore. But then something worse dropped. A mysterious YouTube channel uploaded a video titled, "Fat Joe Betrayed. His own team turns on him." It featured audio clips of Joe arguing with someone on the phone, apparently from a studio call. "You wasn't supposed to record this session." Joe's voice thundered. Another voice fired back, "You ain't paying people right, Joe. You think 'cause you a legend you can treat everyone like sidekicks." Boom. Instant explosion. Fans didn't care about the context. The sound of Joe yelling was enough to make headlines. Within hours, Say Cheese TV posted leaked audio. Fat Joe explodes at his team as drama, with 6ix9ine gets deeper. Even candidly, Cassie uploaded a late-night breakdown video titled, "The Real Reason Fat Joe's Camp Turned on Him. Not What You Think." According to Cassie, the problem wasn't just about 6ix9ine. People close to Joe are saying he's been under insane pressure, she explained. He's not sleeping, he's losing trust, and everyone around him is scared to say the wrong thing. But the real shocker came from inside his circle. One of Joe's former engineers, a guy named Rico Blaze, came forward in an exclusive interview. He claimed Joe's frustration wasn't about ego or power. It was about legacy. Rico said Joe feels like the new wave don't care about respect. He watched dudes who never been through the grind get rich off memes. That's what broke him. He ain't mad at 6ix9ine. He mad at the system. Fans were stunned. For the first time, people started to see the emotion behind the anger. But not everyone believed it. 6ix9ine quickly went live again, mocking the entire situation. Now he crying about respect? Bro, you had your time. Ain't nobody blackballing you. The world just moved on. He laughed for a full 10 seconds straight, slamming his phone on the table. Yo, you see how they all fold under pressure? His own people recording him. That's what happens when you fake love the culture. The comment section went nuclear again. 6ix9ine got no chill. Joe getting played by his own crew, SHM. Bro, this generation ruthless. Meanwhile, Fat Joe's camp scrambled to do damage control. His PR team released a statement saying all leaked content is fake or edited. Leaked content is fake or edited. Joe has always stood for unity and respect in hip-hop. Don't believe the noise. But fans weren't buying it. The internet doesn't wait for truth, it runs on chaos. Even legends like Busta Rhymes and Jadakiss started chiming in subtly. Busta posted a photo of him and Joe with the caption, "Real recognize real." The internet can't destroy foundation. Jadakiss dropped a cryptic tweet. They always betray kings from within the castle. That tweet blew up. Fans immediately assumed he was talking about Joe's betrayal. But here's where things took an unexpected emotional turn. A few days later, a video surfaced of Fat Joe visiting the Bronx's home turf. He was spotted talking to a group of young kids outside a corner store. One of the kids, maybe 13 years old, shouted, "Yo, Joe, you've gone clap back at 6ix9ine or what?" Joe smiled weakly. "Nah, lil man," he said. "Sometimes silence louder than a diss track, you feel me?" That clip went viral instantly. Millions watched it. The comment sections shifted. Suddenly, people weren't just seeing Joe as the angry OG. They saw a man tired of fighting, standing in front of his roots, still trying to teach respect. "He looked hurt," one fan wrote, "like he just realized the game he helped build. Don't love him back." Even some of 6ix9ine's fans started softening up. A popular TikTok creator posted, "I'm starting to feel for Fat Joe. The old heads built the foundation and now they're getting laughed at." But of course, 6ix9ine saw that too, and he wasn't done. The next morning, he posted a clip from Joe's Bronx moment with the caption, "Bro turned motivational speaker 'cause nobody's streaming his music." The comment hit like a grenade. Even die-hard 6ix9ine fans said he crossed the line. Then, like a perfectly timed plot twist, Joe's response finally dropped. It wasn't a diss track. It wasn't an interview. It was a short film-style freestyle video titled "Legacy Over Likes." The opening scene showed Joe walking through the Bronx at sunrise. Voiceover saying, "They can take your name out the charts, but they can't erase your history." Then came the bars, powerful, poetic, full of emotion. "They want clicks. I want peace. I raised wolves. They turned beasts. They chase fame. I chase legacy. I don't compete. I just teach." Fans were stunned. It wasn't just rap. It was storytelling. It was pain. It was perspective. Even 6ix9ine stayed silent for 2 whole days. A record for him. For the first time since the chaos began, people felt something shift. It wasn't about winning anymore. It was about meaning. But just when it seemed like peace might finally be possible, the final twist came because out of nowhere, a major streaming platform announced a new upcoming documentary series titled The Generation War, 6ix9ine vs. Fat Joe. And guess who had secretly signed off to be a consultant? Tekashi 6ix9ine himself. The betrayal wasn't just inside Joe's camp. It was industry-wide. Joe was blindsided. He had no idea the project even existed until fans tagged him under the trailer post. His reaction was pure disbelief. After all that, he told friends privately, "They turned my pain into content." That one move, the docuseries deal, reignited everything. The war wasn't over. It had just gone corporate. And this time, it wasn't about music anymore. It was about control, power. And who truly owns the story of hip-hop's evolution? When the trailer for the Generation War, 6ix9ine vs. Fat Joe dropped, the internet froze. No one was ready for what they saw. The teaser opened with slow-motion clips. Young rappers on TikTok, old-school legends on stage, and Fat Joe looking down from a balcony as 6ix9ine's voice echoed over the beat. They call it history, I call it hypocrisy. Then the screen cut to black. Big white letters flashed, "Coming soon." The story they tried to silence. Boom, instant mayhem. Blogs blew up, YouTube reactors went crazy. Say Cheese TV posted, 6ix9ine signs on to tell his side in new doc. Fat Joe blindsided meanwhile. Rap Daily ran the headline, "The industry's biggest betrayal, Fat Joe versus the machine that used his pain for profit." For the first time in years, the entire culture stopped arguing and started watching. Everyone wanted to know what was coming. The day the documentary dropped, social media went into meltdown mode. Netflix-style logo, moody trap soundtrack, and a dramatic narrator saying, "This isn't just about 2 rappers. It's about the fight for respect in a culture torn between its past and its future." The first episode pulled no punches. It opened with 6ix9ine sitting in a neon-lit studio, smirking into the camera. "I don't hate Fat Joe," he said. But let's be real, he's a dinosaur. Hip-hop's evolving. We ain't rapping for street corners no more. We rapping for global streams. Cut to a montage of Joe's old interviews, his warnings to young artists, his emotional Bronx moments. The editing made it look like Joe was out of touch, bitter, fading. Fans flooded comment sections. Netflix just assassinated Joe's character. 6ix9ine running PR on this like a movie villain FR. But halfway through episode 2, everything flipped. Because suddenly, there it was, unseen footage from Joe's Bronx freestyle shoot. He was off camera talking to the director. "They think it's me versus 6ix9ine," he said quietly. It's me versus the system that taught us to hate each other for attention." The comment sections went silent. For a brief moment, people stopped laughing and started listening. Even 6ix9ine's fans couldn't ignore it. One viral tweet read, "Wait, Joe Loki spitting wisdom here. Dude talking legacy, not beef." Then episode 3 dropped, and it was explosive. The documentary's production team had apparently interviewed people from both sides, and one of them leaked unseen text messages between 6ix9ine and the streaming company executives. In those messages, 6ix9ine allegedly said, "Yeah, run the trailer like that, make Joe look old school. It'll go viral faster." When that hit the internet, fans lost it. He set him up. 6ix9ine turned a generational debate into a marketing scheme. It was chaos all over again. But this time the sympathy swung back to Joe. He finally spoke publicly in a calm, somber interview with The Breakfast Club. No shouting, no ego, just real talk. "I ain't mad at the kid," Joe said, voice heavy with exhaustion. "He playing a game the industry created. They taught these youngins that controversy equals currency. I get it. But you can't build legacy on destruction. You can't claim culture while tearing it down." The clip went viral instantly. Fans began using the hashtag legacy over likes and solidarity. Even rappers who'd stayed quiet started reposting it. Meek Mill commented, "Big Joe speaking real facts here." Rick Ross shared it on his story with the caption, "OG energy, respect." Meanwhile, 6ix9ine was feeling the heat. For the first time in years, the internet wasn't laughing with him, it was laughing at him. Memes labeled him the clout clown. Commenters started calling him out. "You don't represent this generation, you embarrass it." But in true 6ix9ine fashion, he clapped back hard. He posted a fiery rant video saying, "Y'all mad 'cause I got paid to tell my truth? Netflix hit me up, not the other way around. Y'all want honesty till it hurts your favorite legends." The rant hit millions of views in hours, but the energy was off. The comments weren't supporting him anymore. They were tired, disappointed. That same week, Fat Joe dropped a surprise track titled "Evolve or Die." It wasn't a diss, it was a message. The beat was soulful, nostalgic, but powerful. His lyrics were reflective, not angry. "I seen the fame eat the youth like a beast. They want chaos, not peace, but every war ends the same, with silence after the tweets." The video ended with Joe sitting alone in a studio, staring at old photos of Big Pun and his early Terror Squad days. The final line of the song hit different. "If the future don't respect the past, the future won't last." Within hours, that one line became a global quote on TikToks, tweets, even merch. The hashtag respect the past started trending worldwide. And for the first time in months, 6ix9ine went completely silent. No trolling, no lives, nothing. Fans started wondering, had the chaos finally caught up with him? A few weeks later, a new video surfaced. A shaky phone clip filmed in Miami showed 6ix9ine walking into a small charity event. No bodyguards, no rainbow hair, no chaos, just Tekashi quietly handing out backpacks to local kids. Someone in the crowd asked, "Yo, you and Joe still beefin'?" 6ix9ine paused, smiled faintly, and said, Nah, we both trying to do something bigger than the beef now. Time to move different. That one clip hit millions of views in a day. Even Fat Joe reposted it with a simple caption, "Growth." And just like that, the narrative shifted again. The generation war became something else entirely, a wake-up call. Because the truth was, this whole saga wasn't really about Joe versus 6ix9ine. It was about old school versus new school, respect versus relevance, legacy versus likes. The war exposed how divided hip-hop had become and how badly it needed healing. Fans started calling for collabs instead of clashes. Hashtags like #unity in the culture and #bridge the gap trended for weeks. Then, in a surprise that shocked everyone, Fat Joe announced a joint panel event, a live conversation titled Past Meets Present, the real talk hip-hop needed. And guess who showed up as the unannounced guest? 6ix9ine. The crowd gasped when he walked out. Joe and Tekashi shook hands, the cameras flashing, fans screaming, the internet losing its mind. "See?" Joe said into the mic, smiling. "We can argue. We can disagree. But at the end of the day, this hip-hop thing belongs to all of us." 6ix9ine nodded, replying, "Respect to the OGs. Even when we don't see eye to eye, we all chasing legacy in different ways." The moment went viral in seconds. Clips everywhere, millions of views. And for the first time in forever, the comment section wasn't divided. This is what the culture needs. Finally, unity over drama. Hip-hop healing in real time. Even District Trending posted a rare positive headline. Fat Joe and 6ix9ine end the generation. War, hip-hop wins. And just like that, the wildest feud of the year ended not with a diss track, not with violence, but with a message. From the start, this was more than just a beef. It was a mirror. A reflection of how fame, ego, and social media can twist a culture built on love, pain, and expression. 6ix9ine came in loud, reckless, and controversial, but in the chaos, he forced a conversation the industry had been avoiding. Fat Joe, the og with scars from every era of hip-hop, reminded everyone that history still matters. Together, whether they planned it or not, they made millions stop scrolling and start thinking. Now fans are asking the bigger questions. Can the new generation and the old one truly coexist? Is hip-hop evolving or losing its soul? And who really controls the culture, the creators or the corporations? One thing's for sure, the generation war won't be forgotten anytime soon. It changed the tone of rap media, forced artists to speak up, and brought to opposite worlds face-to-face. So now it's your turn. What do you think? Was 6ix9ine speaking facts? Or was Fat Joe the real victim of an industry built on clicks? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Let's talk about it. Don't forget to hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel and turn on those notifications, cause this story, it's only the beginning. Stay tuned, more exclusive hip-hop drama, truth, and chaos coming your way. Only here on RapCipher.